This is Dave with Taboo Customs. This video here today, we're going to go through the assembly and the installation of our lower control arm mount kit for the Jeep TJ. So this will be the frame lower control arm mount that will mount at the bottom of the frame and hold the lower control arm. This kit you can either purchase individually on our website at taboocustoms.com, or it will come with your Taboo Customs rear control arm mount area kit that does the frame, the the upper control arm mount and the lower control arm mount. The kit will come with 4 different plates. They're all 1/4 inch thick hot rolled steel, and it'll come with the bottom plate, which on the bottom plate it doesn't matter which direction this bottom plate goes, it's symmetric both ways. The 2 side plates, and it will also come with this back plate, which the back plate does have a direction. You'll put this V-notch pointing down, and we'll explain why later. To start us off, what you'll want to also have is some sort of square. We're going to use a magnetic square. Of course, make sure your magnetic square is clean so it sits flat on your plate. And we're going to put it up here towards the main side of the mount, and where we're going to get that joint tight. Now it'll be flush to the bottom and the side, and then just make sure the joint fits up tight. Once you get that joint tight, you can go ahead and tack that in place. Just put a couple of tacks for now because you don't want that that weld to start really pulling the plate. Then the next part could be a little bit tricky. What you're going to want to do is hold the other side and then use your back plate to help set that thickness. Now, like I said, this will set down in the tabs and slots, and you can kind of hold them together like that. The back plate will actually set your distance here, so you don't necessarily have to worry about the distance, and as long as you're lining up the front end fairly well, you shouldn't have to worry about this. Now, if you really wanted to, you can use the bolt to help make sure that you've got alignment between your holes. So with that in place, make sure your joint is tight at the bottom, and place a couple of more tacks on the inside. Try not to burn your fingers. Then here at the back, what you want to make sure that your rear plate is all the way down, because we'll actually weld this down, and we'll actually weld it across here, and then you can tack this back plate on as well. Alright, so now that you've got it assembled, if you do want to double check it, you can check your measurement between here. It should just be a hair over 2 5/8 wide to hold your lower control arm mount. Now, what we can do next is we'll go in and we'll solid weld all of the joints. To do that, I'll actually go in and I'm going to place 2 small welds down here at the front on the inside, and then I'm going to start by welding these joints down the back and then across the back side here. I'll flip it over. I'll weld the 2 joints on the inside of the back, and then I'll weld as far as I can back inside here. So that'll solid weld this entire assembly before we put it onto the frame. So one thing I forgot to mention a second ago is after I weld these back, I actually weld this joint here on the outside. Now when you weld that joint here, you don't want to have any reinforcement be below or above this plane here, because that's what's actually going to mount to the frame. If you do get some below or above that, just take a grinder, grind it down flush so it'll fit flat against the bottom of the frame. So before we can start actually installing the control arm mount to the bottom of the frame, there's a few things we have to do. And actually this needs to happen, if it can, before you pull the lower control arm mount. One thing you'll need to do is measure where that control arm mount is at. Now to do that easily, what we will typically do is we'll go up here to the front control arm mount and go right above the bolt so that the tape measure rests on the bolt but hooks around the front of the control arm mount. And then we'll bring it back and we will measure where the center of the bolt is in the frame. Now obviously we've already removed this, but we measured before, and typically TJs are pretty accurate for this measurement, and it's usually 59 inches. So what we'll do then is we actually, like I said, hook it on the front edge there, make sure it's in the correct place, and we'll go in and we for now have gone and just marked the frame where we will need to put that bolt and where we'll need to put that control arm mount. So from there you'll need to do a couple of things. One, you want to make sure that the Jeep is supported on jack stands under the axle so that the axle is as close to normal ride height as possible. So that'll help you get these in the right location, and it'll help to keep the axle centered under the Jeep, because as the axle drops it's going to want to swing towards the frame side of the track bar mount. So depending on where that's at, you're going to want to look, and we'll in a second here we'll mount up the lower control arm, and then we'll use a large ratchet strap to either pull the axle, the bottom of the axle back, or pull it forward to get it in the correct orientation. Another thing that we should have mentioned at the start is we recommend doing this one side at a time. So get one side done and then move to the other and do that. That may mean that you have to do the whole kit one side at a time, and we do recommend that. Do one side at a time. That way, and do the worst side first if you're doing two sides of the Jeep. That way you maintain the geometry on the other side, and in worst case scenario, like in this Jeep where one side, the control arm on the bottom was still somewhat connected, the other side it wasn't, we used the measurement on one side to set the other side. That way we tried to make sure that the axle was in the Jeep as square as possible to the front axle. So with that, we've set the other side already, we've done the other side already, we're actually working on the second side now. And typically whenever you're setting these and you do your measurement here, you're actually gonna, if it sticks eventually, you're actually usually gonna have to roll the axle forward towards the front of the Jeep. And when we do that, like I said, we'll take a large strap, we'll go under the axle, and then hook the hook on the upper control arm mount on the axle, and then the other hook will just put in the front control arm mount. So as we crank on this strap, it'll actually cause this rear axle to roll forward so that we can get this in the proper location. And depending on how far you're off, you may have to go several clicks. But once you get close, we just go one at a time, which puts us right there. Now, the other thing you have to worry about with these is the axle centered across the Jeep. Now, typically, if your track bar is correct, especially if it's stock, it's usually going to be pretty close. If you got a lift though, it might be off, and it might be a little tougher to do this. You may have to adjust where your axle is. So if you have an adjustable track bar, this might be the time that you help to adjust the location of the axle across the Jeep. Now if you need to measure that, what you can use is I would typically use a plumb bob off of the frame here, and then measure to the same point across the axle on both sides to help line it up. The other thing you can also do is when you push these up to the frame, look at where they fall out. And don't try to force them too much just yet, one way or another, but it will tell you which way, how far it's off on one side to the other. This is a stock Jeep, so this axle is pretty much right on. Now the other thing you can look at with these is these control arms angle inward on both sides of the frame. So you're going to have this bracket where it's a little bit pointing towards the center of the front of the Jeep. And the correct location for these, when it is pointing that, is pretty much this outside front corner is right on the outside of the frame, and the inside back corner is right on the inside of the frame. Because of the way these made, it pretty much works out perfectly. So when we do these, we'll set our distance front to rear, and then we will line these up here so that, like I said, the front outside is flush with the outside of the frame, the back inside is flush with the inside of the frame. So now what we can do, since we've got that in place, we can go in and tack this in. One thing that you can do to help you out is you can put a jack under here to hold it up if you need to hold it up. Again, we still have to go in and grind the bottom of this frame off, so don't forget to do that. We almost did. But we can use a jack to push this up against the bottom of the frame here and then weld it into place. And you're going to weld it as much as possible as you can around the inside, or excuse me, around the outside of the frame. And there's also a hole there that you can use to weld in the inside once you pull this lower control arm out. Another thing that we want to mention here is you want to make sure that you tie these outside plates to the frame. And you have to be a little bit careful of that with where this is offset from the outside of the frame, because these plates are actually outside of that. And what we would ask that you do in those areas, you actually do a 3-pass weld. And what I mean by doing a 3-pass weld is if you have a joint that looks like this, that we'll do one weld, then we'll do a second weld, and then we'll do a third weld. And that is to make sure, because this plate sets a little bit off of this frame, we make sure we get good tie-in to that plate, especially up in these areas. This area here, you won't need to do the 3-pass weld, but we would tell you to do the 3-pass weld up here to make sure we get everything tied into the frame. So one thing is we went in, we welded the front and the back. When you weld the front especially, there's a V notch in there. You can weld all the way down in there. And like I said, once you get done there, you can take this out. You can weld the inside too if you like. What we typically do is once we weld the front and the rear, we go ahead and remove this strap here, and I failed to mention that earlier. That way it's easier to get to the inside. We'll go ahead and remove this, and we'll continue to weld up the mount. Before we ended the video, I just wanted to reiterate, getting a 3-pass weld back here, and this is what our 3-pass weld looks like. Like I said, we did one root pass at the right in the center of the joint. Then we did an outside pass, and then we did this upper pass that tied both those inside and the outside pass together. And just make sure you get a strong weld here, because it is pretty critical that you get this welded to the frame soundly. Now we've obviously got solid welding on the inside and everything, so it'd probably be okay, but it's better safe than sorry. So that does it for the installation of our lower control arm here on the frame. If you're looking to purchase one of these kits or any of our other TJ kits, you can go to taboocustoms.com and find those kits there. And as always, we appreciate a like or subscribe, and thank you for watching the videos.